Hi, this is Tom at the University of Iowa. Let me show you a standard routine Phaco chop case. I like to use the classic Arsinoff shell, first with a dispersive and then with the cohesive viscoelastic just over the lens so that the dispersive gets pushed up against the corneal endothelium. This is a fairly wide by today's standard keratome. It's a 2.8 millimeter bevel up. The internal diameter of the wound is probably 2 millimeters. I like to place some OcuCoat on top of the cornea so we've got a beautiful view. And now we're going to start the rhexis with a cystotome. This is a pre-bent cystotome standard. I'm going to bring it around so it's just subincisional, very easy to grab now with the Utrata forceps, trying to maintain as much as I can of the viscoelastic so that I don't lose that and make it difficult and potentially have it go out. I'm trying to make a 5.5 or 5 millimeter diameter rhexis. You see we're bringing it all the way around. It's continuous, no big deal. It's round enough, I suppose. And now I'm going to use the regular 27 gauge cannula to do the hydrodissection. I like to lift up a little bit when I do it and push down on the lens so that it doesn't prolapse. I'm going to make a little quick subincisional groove. I like to use pure longitudinal ultrasound in this situation. And we're going to embed into the lens and do the chop here with a Cybele chopper. The advantage of the longitudinal is that you don't make a larger hole than the size of the phaco needle like when you use the Ozzel. Do a little bit of dividing, and in this case, because it's so chunky, I just decided to break it into just 4 pieces as opposed to the usual 6 pieces. After I break it up, I really like to just use one instrument. It just makes the fluidics so much better when you don't have a second instrument in the eye. Everything just flows right to the phaco tip, especially with Ozzel. And this is just Ozzel with a little bit of the eyepiece so that every now and then you get a small amount of longitudinal, but basically it's mostly Ozzel with a fixed amount of vacuum. The vacuum is close to 400 in this case. And you can see that it's just amazing how nicely everything comes to the tip. Now when you get down to just this last little bit of epinuclear material, I typically go from the fixed vacuum to the linear vacuum. And this allows you more control if you want to reach over and grab some of that very flimsy epinuclear material. And then there's just a little bit of Ozzel at the end of the petal in case you need it. I like to use this soft Bausch & Lomb tip here for the IA. It's about a 45-degree tip and it allows you to get subincisional pretty easy on the capsule. I use a Terry squeegee every case. I put the Helon on here, and while I'm doing that, I simultaneously fill the bag. This is a preloaded Alcon single piece acrylic. Goes in nicely. It's fairly easy on the technicians. Rotate this into position. I typically rotate it so that it's always 90 degrees away from the wound so that I can easily get underneath the lens and get the subincisional material. Here I'm going underneath. And then I'm going to get back on top, and then I use this very soft tip to rotate the lens in position. It's a very nice tip also for torics. I hydrate the wound. In this case, it's going to seal for sure, and then I check it and make sure that we're in good position. This is Tom at the University of Iowa. Thank you very much.